I'm Josh with Waupaca Community Media. We're joined with Aaron Jensen from the state of Waupaca and Ron Sari from the Waupaca School District. And how are you guys doing today?
Doing great, Josh. Thanks.
Yep, awesome.
I joked about this. I kind of asked the question more jokingly than serious a couple of months ago. With all this virtual and remote learning going on, are snow days a thing of the past? And that topic came up at your board meeting on Tuesday. And what's that result?
It's official, Josh. Snow days are no more. They are converted into now remote learning days. It's official. Our board voted last night unanimously to move forward with that recommendation.
So every kid's heart just broke. No, that's a good thing.
Probably a lot of teachers applauding that they get to keep up on where they need to be, and probably a lot of disappointed kids hearing that news.
You're probably right, but there is a silver lining for everybody. You know, we have those two scheduled break days that were snow makeup days. So now those 2 days are actually a break day for sure, guaranteed. So parents can plan and families to, if they wanted to go somewhere on those days, like one is the Monday after Easter and the other one is, what was it, in February on Monday the 15th. So yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting.
And the other nice part is you'll get to the end of the school year and there is no worry of a couple extra days being added on.
Right. Yeah, in the spring like that, just before summer break, that's a terrible time to add days when everybody's ready to call it a year and move forward. So yeah, I think it's good for our kids and our community.
Something else, we'll talk a little bit about COVID. You know, every week you bring positive news to our weekly segment that the school district's doing pretty well. When I say school district, within your buildings, within your 4 school buildings, all your staff and students, you've got pretty positive trends. And within the school district, you continue to trend downward. Despite what's going on everywhere else, what you're doing is working. You still have your staff and students in the building on an A/B schedule.
Exactly right. Like I think I've said before, it was around October 15th and then I think the next week of the 22nd, we kind of peaked at that point with the highest amount of students and staff impacted for some kind of COVID related reason, whether it's a contact or having to quarantine or the positives that came. And since that time, we continue to average and trend downward week by week for the most part. So we're pretty excited about that. And I can't wait to see how this is going to look with our ionizers fully operational. We have 2 buildings right now that I just reported out yesterday that our ionizers are fully operational at the CEC and at the WLC. And very shortly, our high school and middle school ionizers will be fully operational. And then we'll see if that is improvement for us.
And not only are you eliminating snow days, but by keeping clean air in the building, you're hopefully eliminating future sickness of all types and maybe fewer staff and students out in the future too.
That's what we're hoping. That's what we're hoping.
Seems like a good investment. Something else coming up top of mind of students and parents, winter athletics, will they take place and how will that look?
At this time, they are still on. They're taking place. And the expectations will be very similar to the expectations that we faced this past fall. The restrictions and the amount of attendees for these events will be very similar. We anticipate 2 spectators per athlete. However, there's still some discussion amongst the conference, and the athletic directors and the commissioner are still talking about that, but it'll be something similar.
And something for both of you, we're hitting that time of year, both with the school and with the city, budget time. And I think the summary out there, it's looking pretty positive for both organizations going into next year. And people often hear the term mill rate, which kind of in turn is how much you're taxed. And that's something that's been creeping in a positive direction year after year. So Ron, I'll start with you. What's the school's budget status as you work through that process?
Yeah, I'm just in my 2nd year And so I'm starting to get a little bit more of the lay of the land, Josh. And so I've got a lot better grasp this year than this time last year of where we were at. But we're pretty excited that our levy, all fund levy, has decreased by over $600,000 from last year to this year. And then when I look back, well, first, our mill rate also decreased. If your levy decreases, typically your mill rate is going to decrease, right? Last year, our mill rate was 7.98. This year, it's 7.51. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but when you go back 5 years ago, our mill rate was 10.98. And so fast forward to today, the new mill rate being 7.51, that's a 3.47 drop in our mill rate. And if you translate that to taxes, and let's say on a $100,000 house from 5 years ago to this year, your taxes would have dropped $347 a year on a $100,000 house. And Aaron, I don't know if you know, my guess is that the average house in our area is about 200,000 valuation. Do you think that's right?
I think that's yeah, that's probably, when you take the whole area and the whole school district, it's probably not that far off.
And so so think 5 years ago, I would have been paying that 10.98 mill rate. This year, the 7.51. Over that 5-year time, my property taxes on a $200,000 home would have dropped $700 a year, Josh. So we're very pleased and excited that our taxpayers are reaping the benefits of that. And hopefully, we just want people to understand we're doing our best to manage the finances and the taxpayer dollars the best that we can in our school district.
And something else.
Oh, sorry, Josh. I'm going to play off that a little bit if you
go for it.
So, you know, he talked about how it's dropped at the school district, and it's done similar over the last 5-6 years at the city. From about 12, you know, he mentioned 10 to 7. I think we were above 12 at one point in the past couple years for a city mill rate, and down below 10 now in the 9.47 range. And as we're looking at TIF districts closing, some of the successful TIF districts that are going to add a lot of value back onto the tax rolls, you know, we're looking at opportunities for that to go down even in bigger chunks in the next couple of years. Now, I'm going to talk about combined mill rate for just a second, because we've talked on here about the Waupaca Growth Initiative, and we want to see our community grow so we can provide our services to a high level, both in municipal services, school district services, all of that, while being financially stable. And rural communities are struggling with that right now. We've seen a little boost in that in the city here and in the school district lately, and we're really excited about that. But we've talked to, you know, developers and people that are looking to move into places, and we've talked to our financial advisors through the city, and we kind of asked, what's that magic number for a combined mill rate? When I say combined mill rate, I'm talking the municipality, in our case the city, and then the school, Fox Valley Tech, and the county. And what we've been told is kind of that $23 mark. And right now, the combined for the city with all of those is about 24 and change. I'm sorry, I don't have the exact number. But that's when you take into account the decreases that Ron just said lately, and I just explained for the city, you can see where that was just not that long ago and how close we are to that magic number. And then, like I said, with the opportunities that might come forward here with some TIF districts closing with larger values, that could plug us right in that range. So yeah, it's just kind of a broad overview of kind of where we're at in relation to other places. And, you know, we're seeing some growth right now. There's a combination, I think, of a lot of things with why we may be seeing some of that, and we hope to continue to take advantage of it. And I know we're going to show a little sneak peek at one of our efforts. So that video is a result of an effort that the city and the school district are working towards in help marketing our area to help overcome these challenges that rural communities are seeing. We think we have a ton to market here, as kind of as you can see in a little 30-second snapshot in that video. And we're going to invest in pouring a little bit of investment into social media advertising, target marketing, working with professionals to do that. And it works right off of the chain to Main, as you could probably see a lot of shots of Main Street in Waupaca, downtown, and then the Chain of Lakes, that whole branding guidelines that was created through the CVB and the city and so on and so forth. So we're excited. We're working, Noah Lenke, former student at Waupaca High School, very talented guy. He's putting together a series of like 50 videos that can be used in different areas, and that's just a little sneak peek at what one short social media clip may look like.
Very cool. Well, we'll look forward to seeing those videos get online in the coming months to help bring some positivity to our area, to let people see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron, Ron, thanks again for making time this week to get our community up to date with everything going on. And again, some good news in this, both with how COVID's looking and budgeting for both organizations.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.